back in to the Scramble Drill show, the show where we fulfill all your hopes and dreams, and we're going to talk about football. Does that sound good to everybody? I am Ben Watts. Across from me is Landon Davis. Landon, this is kind of a big episode for us, is it not? I think this is a pretty big episode.
I would say it's our biggest episode in a while. I would say it's the biggest episode of just you and I. I would say that.
Yeah, it's a big one. Not in good ways, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We do kind of have a sort of it's an announcement. Some people, I guess if you have followed the show since the beginning, might be a little upset. We'll give our reasons as to why. So we've kind of, all three of us, me, Landon, and Josh, have been talking. And it's a great thing for Josh. He has a history podcast called Compendium, and I think he also has a page where he reviews books, and he's had a lot of stuff, and that's going extremely well for him. So we are very excited
great.
from that.
He's doing great.
He's honestly doing great. And I've listened to some of his podcast episodes. They're super in-depth. Like, the research he puts into those shows is ridiculous. Have you seen, like, I've talked to him about what he does. It's insane.
Dude, he's having on professors of colleges.
Yes.
I mean, he's like
he's
what
interviewing
is
actual
happening?
historians. It's crazy.
It's
like,
crazy.
and he's told me, like, to get ready for one episode, he's like, I've got to read like 4 books or something to get ready. I said, 4 books? I said, dude, I haven't read 4 books since college. So
Nope.
that
I
being
read
said,
Elsie's books. That's the only books I have, like 2-year-old books.
That being said, obviously you can tell that there's no animosity, nothing. It's just Josh is extremely busy with his new show, so he's going to be on a lot less. He will be on as much as he can. We're excited for the times he can be on. It's just time-wise not as feasible for him right now. So that being said, you're going to see really just me and Landon most of the time, which I don't have a problem with. Y'all might have a problem with, and I apologize on Landon's behalf for that. But that's where we're going. And we're going to take a little bit of a turn from the former layout of the show. We've been a fantasy-heavy podcast for probably going on 3 years now. And Landon, you break it down a little bit more than I. You probably have it articulated in your head better. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're switching over. We're going to talk much more just NFL, like just reactions to the games, reactions to the rosters. Once we get deeper into the season, playoff scenarios, the real life NFL is what we're going to be talking about. And there's a few reasons we wanted to do this. One, we liked talking fantasy and dynasty. We love talking NFL. Like, that's where our bread is really buttered.
This was something we realized during the playoffs when we did our playoff reviews and reactions, because fantasy season was over at that point. So we were just talking playoffs with each other. And me personally, and I know you, Landon, those are some of our most favorite episodes we've done. And I thought the quality of those episodes was really good, and we had a lot of fun.
Oh.
And it hits you more than it hit sooner than it hit me and Josh, but we've definitely come around to it too. I think that's what we want to do. We enjoyed that more.
Yeah, and those are our best. We enjoyed it more, and those are our best. When I'm thinking about fantasy videos on YouTube or podcast or whatever, and I listen to a fantasy football creator, every time I listen, I'm like, dude, that's way better than I would have done. Like, I can't do any better than that. And obviously that's way more accessible to people than our show. But when I went back and I was just cutting grass this summer, doing whatever, and I was like, I'm just going to throw on our Super Bowl reaction or our AFC Championship game reaction. Dude, I was blown away. I was like, dude, those were good. Like, that, I feel like we actually added something. I feel like we actually had good things to say. Not that we didn't with fantasy, but we talked a lot of strategy last year, and we went through a year of it.
There's only so much strategy you can do.
I don't have that much. I don't have that much more than a year strategy. I could come in here and we could figure out episodes, but this one, we just want to go through the games. We're going to try to have episodes out every Wednesday, and we are just going to literally react to the games on Sunday. Maybe a slight look ahead to the next week, but that's really not the point. We just want to talk through the games, what we saw, what we think, because I listen to a lot of sports talk, and I hear some nonsense. So I figure we can't be that bad. Compared to some of the things I hear, we can't be that bad. And this is what we would be doing if we didn't have microphones in front of us. So why not just have the microphones and run with it?
Yeah. I mean, and I think our episodes when we did those were genuinely good media, in my opinion. Obviously, from non-player, non-professional perspectives, just amateur, I thought it was really good. So that's where we're going to jump into
and
things.
We are.
Yeah.
And we are. This isn't First Take. This isn't what. If you like that show, great. This is not debate. This is not like I'm not going at Ben's throat. I'm not.
We'll
calling
have some
him out
difference
for
of
not being a
opinions
player.
sometimes, but like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
I'm not calling him out for not playing in the NFL. Like that's not what this. That's not what I want to do. I just want to talk about the games, talk about winners, losers, and that kind of deal. So should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun.
We just enjoy the NFL.
I think we enjoy the NFL, and I think we have something to add. Like in our conversations, the things we talk about. When I listen to sports talk shows, I'm like, dude, we had better points than they did. Now, I'm not saying like there's obviously people way more talented than us, right? But there's also people that are on TV that are like, dude, do you have a TV? Do you watch the games? So I'm excited. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah. And we're going to go chronologically through the games. We're not going to be like obviously everybody knows Bills-Ravens was a great game. We're not going to talk about that one first. We're going to go Thursday night, Friday night, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, that kind of thing. And we always talk about, on this show, we've kind of made it a rule, we're going to talk about the winner of every game first.
Always.
Because they deserve to be talked
Always
about.
talk winner first. Give the winner their props, and then we'll talk about loser. And so, yeah, it should be fun. This is your positive football show. Okay, this is your positive reaction show. That's what this is going to be. So
I don't want to drag down any players.
No, I don't care to do that. So.
All right. Well, with that
unless
out
it's
of the
a
way,
cowboy.
That's very true. With that out of the way, I think there's nothing else but to jump into this. And speaking of the Cowboys, we've got the Cowboys and Eagles. And I think we can talk about the Eagles
Ben,
first.
they call that they call
ahead.
that a segue in the business.
That is, that's true.
That's what they call it.
We should have like a theme for that of jumping into it. They do on podcasts and radio. We should have a theme. Anyway,
yeah.
Where do you want to start with the Eagles? Should we get the obvious out of the way first and say that's gross from Jalen Carter? It's disgusting, dude.
Yeah, that is gross, and we're gonna talk about the game, but I'll save that take for later in the show. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I hadn't even turned the game on. I'm at the beach with my family. I was about to get back and watch the game, but we were out getting ice cream. And in our group chat is blowing up. They're like, that's gross. That's disgusting. I can't believe it. I'm like, what happened? The game just started. Like, I got it paused at home, and I'm going to watch it when I get back. And then I see the best player on the Eagles defense, and they got some good players. Their best player doesn't play a snap. So that was crazy. But they're able to survive it, and this is something that is true. It's just true at any level of any sport. Going into a game thinking you have a player and then him getting injured or him not being available is so much different than going into a game knowing you don't have a player. I think the Eagles didn't dominate the game, I think, like a lot of people thought they would. The Cowboys hung in there a lot better than I think most people gave them credit for or gave them the ability to. I attribute that to Jalen Carter, them thinking they were going to have Jalen Carter and him just getting pulled out of the lineup. That's a big shock to a team when that happens, and they rallied enough. I don't think the Eagles played great. I don't think Eagles fans woke up Friday morning feeling like kings of the world. Obviously, they got their banner. They're the reigning champs. They got a win in week one. But
divisional win.
It wasn't without its flaws. Yeah, I mean, a division win in week one, but it wasn't without its flaws. Like, there were some things on this team that you didn't think you'd see starting off the season.
No. And I want to start out by giving flowers to Jalen Hurts. If you've listened to some of our previous episodes, I've kind of been one of the detractors of Jalen Hurts, and it was only because I hated when he was put into the same conversation as your Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons because I just think his team is so much better. I thought he played fantastic in that game. Like he did. He played a perfect game from the perspective of the running, the passing, everything was great from Jalen Hurts.
Oh, he was incredible. I mean, if they just get average quarterback play, they lose that game. Like, and I know they had a chance to lose it at the end, and we can talk about it, but like, that was maybe the first game of his career where I was like, oh, if
he looked good.
The Eagles get NFL average quarterback play, they lose. And they won because of him. Like, that's typically not what we've said about Jalen Hurts wins. Typically, it's like, look what's around him, all this, the infrastructure. He was great. He was great. They lose their best defensive player before the game even starts, and he rallies. He keeps steady, and they survive week one. And a lot of times week one, especially divisional week one games, not everything's clicking, right? You're just trying to come away with a win, and they were able to do that because of him, because of how he played.
Yeah, I mean, converting third downs. People, you can look at his stats and be like, oh, he didn't put up great stats. He did everything he had to do.
No, he was excellent.
Within the concept of that offense. Like, no, did he throw?
He was
40
absolutely
yards?
excellent.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one interesting thing, a couple interesting things. So, their defense did not look as dominant as they did in the last year.
Again,
now is that just week one rust? What is that? Whatever. Saquon rushed for 3.3 yards a carry, which is interesting. I know. I mean, the Cowboys did just add Kenny Clark, so that helps.
And
but
Jerry
that's interesting.
was talking
and
about
then obviously
stopping the run after the Micah trade.
Yeah, and then obviously the big news: A.J. Brown 1 target, Devonta Smith 3 targets. That's
Jahan
the big
Dotson,
thing. That's
3 targets.
I'm not as concerned with the defense. I do think that's gonna kind of work itself out to an extent, but I'm not concerned A.J. Brown getting 1 target as in, is he not a part of the offense this year? That's not what I'm concerned about. What I am concerned about is A.J. Brown has shown that he can be, how do I say this? He can cause a little ruckus at times. And I don't think, dude, straight up, do you remember, did you see his tweet a couple days after the Super Bowl? After they won, it was like 3 days later. Did you see his tweet?
Which tweet? I feel like he tweets a lot. No, maybe
it was literally like maybe the day after the parade or something. It had something to do with, I'm not going to directly quote it, I'm sorry for that, but it had something to do with like, people said that winning in this game is what makes you happy, and I'd be on this mountaintop and I'd feel it. Not for me. What makes me happy is dominating, seeing a defensive back give up during the game. That's what motivates me. It was basically like the Super Bowl, not as good as I thought it was.
God.
I don't know. He has not caused a fuss.
Yeah.
He has not caused a fuss this week. I have heard nothing about it. I mean, his post game was a little weird, but nothing crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't break out the book on the sideline this weekend. I wouldn't be shocked if he's reading come second quarter.
I can see the week 4 headline, A.J. Brown requests trade, if he doesn't have 100 yards in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you told me this one time, Landon. You said this. This was like a long time ago when we were in college. Wide receivers like 2 things, and they will let you know when they are not getting one of them. What are those things, Landon?
Yeah. They love their money. Check. He's got his money. And they love the ball. And they got to be getting both, or there's going to be a problem.
If they're not getting one, they'll let you know.
Here's my fantasy take for this game. Start A.J. Brown next week. I bet he gets 6 targets in the first quarter.
Yes.
But, I mean, they come away with a win. Do you have any Dallas takes for this one?
Honestly, I was impressed with Dallas. I thought Dak Prescott played great. Dak looked really good.
That's one of the most misleading stat sheets of the week, I thought. He played really well. And it's not just the drops that hurt his stats. His stats just don't look good in general. Had a 76 passer rating, excuse me. But they were able to run the ball a little bit. I mean, it wasn't great.
It wasn't dominant.
5 yards a carry, though. Javonte looked okay. I thought Dallas was impressive.
So that skews it a little bit.
Yeah, but I thought they were impressive. I mean, I thought coming into the year, I thought, man, this might be like a 6-win team. Now I'm thinking, we could be here 3-4 weeks left in the season, and they still have a chance at a wild card spot. I could see that happening with how they played in week 1. Now, again, how much of that was just Eagles rust? How much of it was emotional letdown of Jalen Carter? I mean, you don't know. Week 1 is so tough to tell on those things, but I was overall impressed, and I'm not worried about CD. I mean, he had a bad end of the game, but I'm not really worried about him. He's got to make those plays. I mean, it's that simple. He'll tell you that. Every wide receiver will tell you that. You got to make those plays. He said it in
post-game.
They might win the game. Yeah, they might win the game if he makes those catches, which I don't think anyone thought Dallas was going into Philly on banner night and taking a win away.
After losing Micah Parsons.
Overall, I'd feel decent if I was a Cowboys fan. Overall.
Yeah. And this is something I'm a little bit of the guy who's soft on the quarterbacks, typically. But I've always thought that people give Dak too hard a time. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying Dak is one of the truly elite, he's going to win a Super Bowl type of quarterbacks. But I think Dak is a very good NFL quarterback, and he's going to be able to cover a lot of flaws on that team. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, no, but he can cover up some flaws. Yeah.
Yep. So overall, I thought the Cowboys played pretty well. I thought Philly didn't play great and got away with one. And I'm going to give a Jalen Carter take as we talk about this next game, and then you can probably guess what it is. But anyways, I'll give that take once we get into the Friday night game.
Well, we were excited to talk about the Friday night game. If you've listened to the show,
love the Friday night game.
Landon is a beyond Mahomes truther. I don't even know the word for you. It is blind trust in Mahomes, and I do too from a different perspective. Like I've always been a Josh Allen guy, and I want to see him get there. But I know what Mahomes is. But I'm also a big Herbert fan, so we were very excited for this game.
Yeah. I'm a Mahomes apologist, I would say. I'm an apologist for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Because yes, he does. Shockingly, he does need it, even with his resume in the day and age we live. But we don't talk about him first because he didn't win.
No, he did not. Justin Herbert might have just played the game of his life in São Paulo, Brazil.
It was. No. I think that's fair. That was his best NFL game. I think he's probably had 3 or 4. He's had 3 or 4 really big games in the NFL.
He's had some monster games before. He's throwing 450 and stuff like that.
So I'm talking about really. I think he's had 3 or 4 really, really important games in his NFL career. This one is probably just outside the really important. It was an important game. His 2 playoff games were really important. He did not come off well in either one. Last year was as bad as you can imagine. I mean, last year was a disaster. And then he had if you'll remember, he had Trevor comes back from 4 scores to beat him in the playoffs. Yeah. So those 2 games, he had one game a few years ago to get into the playoffs. He did not play well and they lost. And then I'm assuming there's a couple more big games. This one was a pretty big game. Chiefs opening night. The Chiefs, he's 1-7 in his career against Patrick Mahomes. That's a big deal. When there's a divisional quarterback, I don't care who it is. When you're 1-7, man, that hurts and you feel it. Even with Harbaugh last year, beat him twice. So he's coming in here. Chiefs coming off AFC champion, another AFC championship, and he played great. I mean, that was the best I've ever seen him look in a spot that really mattered. That's the best game I've ever seen him play.
I think there was only one point during the game where I was frustrated or thought he made a mistake, and it was one of those I saw Spags pull up 3 guys from the defense. I'm like, Justin, they're about to send an all-out blitz. I could see it. I was frustrated. He didn't see it, and they get back in the pattern, and there's nobody really short, no dump off, no quick option, and he gets sacked. And I was like, how could you not see that? But that was the only mistake I thought he made the entire game, was not seeing one blitz.
Yeah, and this was different than last year. So I have 2 takes. One, he was throwing it so much. I mean, how many pass attempts did he have? I feel like
30,
I text you like in the third quarter.
34.
I text in the fourth quarter or the third quarter. I was like, I think he's got more pass attempts than he had all of last season. He had 34, but I feel like there was a time it felt like they were throwing the ball every play. They oddly couldn't get a lot going in the run game. Like
No.
he ran the ball effectively, but even Hampton didn't. Najee Harris didn't. Najee Harris, 1 carry, by the way. Keep an eye on that, fantasy players. But I thought they were trusting him to throw it a lot more, which I like to see because he's got that talent. The 3rd and 14 run is the best play of his career. That's the biggest play that he's made in his career.
Talking about the very last one, right?
The 3rd and 14,
Okay.
picking that up with his legs. The game sealer, because if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't get there, they're punting the ball. They're giving the ball to Patrick Mahomes down 6, 90 seconds left, maybe like 80 to 100 seconds left, something like that. We know how that typically goes.
That's an eternity for Mahomes.
That's a loss. I mean, you lose the game. So him making that play was incredible. I thought it was the best play he's ever made. Can't say enough good things about Justin Herbert in Week 1. Cannot.
Yeah. And this is the guy who's been a fan of Justin Herbert for a while in me. I'm hoping like maybe just last year, like I know the playoff game was not good, but I think most people were expecting like it's going to take Harbaugh a year at least to get things going. So I'm hoping maybe that was just they overachieved last year, and this is what we can expect from a Harbaugh-Herbert combo going forward. You're not going to beat the Chiefs every time. You're not going to beat all these elite teams every time. But maybe this genuinely could be with year 2 with Harbaugh, with year 2 with Herbert in his system, a genuinely a competitor and a contender for the championship.
Yeah, I mean they got to win against the Chiefs on a neutral site. I'll have to look and see. I don't know if it was counted as a home or away game I don't know which team it was a home game for.
I don't remember.
But I mean that's at worst one of the 3 hardest games on their schedule and maybe the hardest. So good for them.
Yeah. All right, you want to talk about Chiefs?
Let's talk about the Chiefs. Yeah. Mahomes he played very similar to how he did the last 2 years, really. I mean, he was just kind of grinding out drives, trying to do what he can. Similar to the Jalen Carter thing, when Xavier Worthy goes down on the 3rd play of the game, clearly he was going to be the focal point. I'm telling you, it's a bigger deal thinking you're going to have him and him leaving that early than knowing going into the game he's not there. That's a huge deal. It clearly hurt him. And their offense looked very similar to the last 2 years. Very similar to the last 2 years. Mahomes was, like I said, he was about the same as he has been. The rushing, I think he just pivoted and was like, nobody's getting open. I'm just going to run the ball. And he was very effective doing that, had the touchdown. But they were not able to run the ball either, which
they had 10
is
attempts.
Not a great sign.
I think there's one. It says one for Xavier Worthy on the stat sheet. I might be remember this wrong. I feel like that was like a swing pass to him or something. Maybe I'm misremembering.
No, it was a jet sweep first or second play of the game. Yeah, first or second play of the game. Yeah.
But then Kareem Hunt had 5 attempts and Isaiah Pacheco had 5 attempts. That's not a winning formula.
No, especially when your receivers aren't getting open because of just the guys they have without
your
Worthy and Rice.
Your receivers aren't getting open, and you're down your 2 best ones.
Yeah. So I had a surprising take for the Chiefs. You said I'm a Mahomes apologist. There's literally not been a moment the last 3 or 4 seasons that I thought the Chiefs weren't going to win the Super Bowl. Not one moment until this past Super Bowl. And it took me to like the second drive of the second half to think, oh, they were down like 24-0 or something, or 30-0. That's when I was like, oh, they might lose. So I'm never worried about the Chiefs, ever. This game worried me. This game worried me a little, and you were surprised when I texted you that, and I'll tell you why. When Mahomes, early in his career, when he was winning MVPs and everything before the past 2 years, right? The defense was at times terrible, at times okay. Never good, never great, but the offense was so explosive. He was, even up until 2022, he won the MVP that year. The offense was so good, I was never worried, right? I was like, yeah, the defense might give up something, but the offense is going to carry them. The last 2 years, the offense has been shaky, right? 2 years ago, it was the drops. Last year, it was Rashee Rice gets hurt, nobody can get open. But the defense was so good, so good. And what everybody was worried about was like, man, these receivers are bad. That was everyone's biggest worry with the Chiefs. And my thought was, if your biggest worry is their passing offense on a team that has Patrick Mahomes, I'm not worried. He's going to figure it out in the playoffs. Whatever has to happen, he'll make happen. If the defense is good enough to get him the ball back late in the fourth quarter, and he's good enough to keep him in the game, they're going to win. What bothers me about this one is the offense didn't look great. Now, maybe we'll see. Rice, Worthy comes back. Maybe it's going to improve greatly.
Yeah, I was sort of willing to give them a pass because they are down their two best pass catchers at this point. Travis Kelce is not one of their two best pass catchers. It's Worthy and Rice.
Clearly. What bothered me, what worries me, is that secondary was leaving dudes wide open.
Got torched.
And they were not able to rush the passer. They got torched, and they were not able to rush the passer. Chris Jones wasn't getting home. It just wasn't happening.
Chris Jones made a mistake on that 14-yard Herbert run, by the way. He was supposed to keep him in the pocket, and he didn't.
So what worries me is he didn't get the ball back. The last 2 years, outside of the Broncos game or the blocked field goal game, was that Broncos or Raiders? I don't remember. I don't remember which one.
Broncos.
But maybe the Broncos missed one and the Raiders got blocked. I don't remember exactly.
The Raiders had
they would have these games where they never the fumble. They never looked great, blah, 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 blah. And then in the end, they would get the ball back and Mahomes would find a way. He didn't get the ball back. That worries me. If it's something he can control, I'm not worried. But if it gets into where this defense is not able to get stops on third down in the fourth quarter, unless they start getting open, unless Rice and Worthy come back full speed, I'm not overly worried. I would pick them to make the Super Bowl again today, but much less confident than I have been the past few years.
Yeah. And this is
that defense does not look the same.
Something we probably should have mentioned on the Chargers is they have a much improved receiver core. Quentin Johnston looked good. Ladd McConkey, we know he's good. Keenan Allen was the difference maker in this game for the Chargers, I think.
Yeah, and I hope you're right. I hope it is that those guys have gotten better, but man, they were wide open. That scares me.
They were.
It scares me how open they were because I know, even if you think that Quentin Johnston got better, he didn't become Devontae Adams running routes. He didn't get that much better, and he was open. Ladd McConkey, there were times that I was thinking, dude, is my TV messing up? Is he invisible? Where is the defense at? That worries me, man. It does. I'll be honest. And, Spags has 17 weeks to get this right. Maybe he'll figure it out, and by the playoffs it's fine. But I don't know, man. That was scary for me.
We'll see. They I don't know. I've got trauma as a Josh Allen fan of Spags and the Chiefs. I'm not worried yet. I'm not hitting the panic button whatsoever. I mean, you can say there's
I'm not
more
hitting
concerning
the panic
than
button.
No, I know. It's more concerning than it has been, but I think they're still the team to beat.
Right.
They're still the team to beat.
Right. I feel way more comfortable when the things people are concerned about is the pass offense when on a team that has Patrick Mahomes. That makes me feel real comfortable. What I'm not comfortable with is he doesn't have Tyreek Hill and prime Travis Kelce anymore. If this defense can't get stops, they might be in trouble. I don't care how good Worthy and Rice are. They ain't prime Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce from back when Mahomes was winning Super Bowls with bad defenses. They ain't them.
Yep. And
so,
and to their credit, this is a Chargers team that people believe is going to be a playoff team, and they lost by 6 points.
Yeah, it's a good team. It's a good team for sure. But I don't know. Where do you want to start with the 1 o'clock games?
Let's just go what's on my phone here, which is, I guess just because they're a favorite team, the Falcons and the Bucks.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
You go first because I almost started talking about the Falcons, obviously because I'm a fan and I've got a lot to say. But we'll start with the Bucks.
Right. Yeah, start with the Bucks. I did not. This is a great win for the Bucks. This is their hardest divisional game of the year. At Atlanta is their hardest divisional game of the year. They come away with the win. I did not think they played great.
No,
I did not think Baker played great. I thought Baker, you come away, the box score looks pretty good. I mean, he had 87 passer rating. He had 3 touchdowns, no picks, only 167 yards. I thought he missed some layups. He ran for 39 yards. They could not get anything going on the ground either, which is just going to be a theme of today, I think. Nobody really could. I didn't think Baker played great. Emeka Egbuka had the 2 big plays, but he wasn't like crazy involved in the offense. He had 6 targets, which is good, but I mean, it wasn't like they were making him a focal point.
I heard somebody say that he's a must start for fantasy from now on. Let's pump the brakes. I'm not willing to say he's a must start right now.
Yeah, I mean, he had 5 touches. I mean, he had 2 long touchdowns really helps. I mean, when you have 2 20-plus yard touchdowns, that's going to help the numbers. I saw someone posted Emeka Egbuka or Nico Collins in Dynasty, and I'm like, whoa.
Let's chill out here.
Guys. But, yeah, I didn't think they looked great. They stuffed the run well. Their defense did that. But even, I mean, Penix threw for like 300 yards. It wasn't like they had like a great pass defense. Now, I will say like 60 of that came on one pass to a running back, so take that into account. I think the biggest thing for the Bucs is they survived their toughest road divisional game of the year, and that feels really good. And they won in a way that, and this is where we can pivot to the Falcons. Man, that was a heartbreaker.
They are. Just because I've been seeing it come across my phone, the Falcons are actively holding kicker tryouts. It's not a joke. They really are. They put out a thing that said Koo is going to remain with the team for now, like throughout the process, which is a fancy way of saying as soon as we have another kicker, he's cut. He had this problem last year, so he's got to go. He lost his games last year. I guess no guarantee we win that game, but at least you have a chance on it. So he didn't help when he more or less lost us this game too. You can also blame it on the run game. 2.5 yards a carry on 28 attempts is not good.
That's not going to cut it. Yeah, the running backs had 22 carries for 48 yards. I mean, that's just not going to do it, especially with the talent they have. I mean, the run blocking wasn't great. I didn't think the pass blocking was a disaster. I mean, he was sacked twice. He was pressured, but I thought that was okay. I saw a lot worse this year. And again, a lot of the work, really, 13 of his completions were to Kyle Pitts and Bijan. I would like to see a little more receiver engagement than that.
We were also down. Darnell Mooney was out for this game. Darnell Mooney was out.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Darnell Mooney, he's one of those guys who's just good. He's just a good player.
He may not be as big a fantasy impact as people want, but for real life, Darnell Mooney affects games.
He does. He definitely affects games, and the missed kick at the end is really a crushing one.
And it wasn't like he would have to make a 59-yarder or something. I think it was like a 48-yarder. Like, that's a makeable kick for an NFL kicker.
Yeah, and I mean, Penix did some work to get him in that spot. I mean, that's taken some momentum. That's taken some confidence away.
I thought he played really well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken some momentum and confidence away from a young quarterback who needs that stuff and missing that kick. Because, who knows? Maybe they go to overtime, get the ball first, and Bijan breaks off a 30-yard touchdown. That definitely could have happened. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one, but good win for the Bucs.
Let's go ahead and also address it. The Kyle Pitts breakout season is not here. I've seen it. I started him in the league. It's not here. Everyone calm down.
Next.
All right.
I'm going to need to see 4 consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
4 consecutive weeks is what I need.
At least a month. Saints Cardinals. This was another ugly game.
We won't spend too much time here. Similar to the Bucks. I mean, the Cardinals didn't play well, I didn't think, but they come away with a win. I only have 2 takes really for the Cardinal side. Man, Kyler's frustrating. He is frustrating. Like, he's very talented, throws a beautiful ball, has plenty enough arm, obviously runs, but when they get pressure up the middle, he panics. He gets jumpy fast. And you made the comment, sometimes he makes too late of a decision to run. Sometimes he leaves the pocket when he doesn't need to. It's frustrating. He runs them out of drives, taking sacks that are just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it
I feel
really
like there's
hurts
times he could avoid
their
the sack
ability.
if he chose to run, but he decides to hold the ball as long as he can, and then it's dead at that point.
Yeah, and they're just playing with hands tied behind their backs because their drives are ruined with sacks. They go from, they'll pick up 8 on first down. They got 2nd and 2, and then he takes a 6-yard sack, and you're like, well, now you're 3rd and long. Good luck, He was frustrating. I will say Marv, this wasn't his best statistical game, but I've watched almost every snap he's ever played, and this is the best he's looked in any game. He looked crisp. His routes looked way better. He was getting more separation. Kyler just missed him on a 98-yard touchdown. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Oh, dude, he was wide open. He had beat everybody. He kind of made the route go a little more horizontal. I guess Kyler thought he was going to keep going vertical and overthrew him. It was a walk-in 98-yard touchdown that was just missed. So I feel good about Marv, but
that's frustrating.
Cardinals they're just going to be frustrating. The Cardinals are just going to be frustrating. They just are.
From the Saints' perspective,
on the road,
I don't think Rattler was atrocious. He even led them through the game tying touchdown that was dropped.
Yeah, here's the biggest thing for Rattler. I guess he has a chance to be an NFL starting quarterback, right? I'll give him that chance. He does not have a chance to be an NFL starting quarterback that throws the ball 46 times a game. Like, he just doesn't. That's not in his arsenal. There's very few guys that can do that. They got to be able to run the ball. I mean, how many rushing attempts did they have from running backs? They had 18 rushing attempts from running backs. Yeah, they had 18 from running backs, and he threw the ball 46 times. You can't do it. I mean, he's not. Maybe he will turn into that. I have my doubts, but hopefully he does. I mean, I'm pulling for him, but
obviously
he's just not going to succeed in that offense. Yeah. Yeah, he's just not going to succeed in that offense. They're going to have to figure something out running the ball to have anything that gets going.
He's not being put in a good situation. Like, it's going to be – we may never know if Spencer Rattler's a good quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, the hypothetical, well, if he was in this situation, it'd be great. I don't know that. But it's going to be hard for any quarterback to succeed at this, especially an unproven one.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I will say – Olave and Juwan Jennings both got over 10 targets. That's interesting going forward. Now, they're not great targets, right? They weren't in the red zone much. He wasn't throwing the ball downfield a ton. Though he did some, he just didn't connect on them. But that's interesting for fantasy purposes. But yeah,
it just with 9 targets. But are they going to throw the ball 46 times a game? Do we know that? Like,
that's what I'm saying. If they do, they have no chance of competing for anything. And I don't think a lot of people think they will anyways, but I would like to see them put Rattler in a little bit better position to succeed.
Yeah, for sure. All right. This one's going to be interesting. Dolphins-Colts. Obviously, let's start with the Colts and talk about NFL history.
We talk about winners first.
They made NFL history.
What was the history?
They scored on every single drive. That's never been done before.
Oh, wow.
7 for 7.
That's incredible.
They had 7 drives and scored 7 times.
I will say, everything I'm about to say, it's clothed in. I'm very skeptical about the Colts. Like, I feel really good about their week 1. Like, I thought this might be a dogfight. I thought both these teams were not going to be very good. And they dominated from start to finish, which is awesome. I need to wait a few weeks with the Colts before I say this game wasn't more about Miami, if that makes sense. And we can talk about that when we get there. But, I mean, Daniel Jones played well. I'm not a Daniel Jones fan. He went to Duke, so I'm not going to say anything too positive, but he played well. Got the 2 rushing touchdowns, 116 rating, which is awesome. They ran the ball a lot. They really didn't get anything going on the ground either.
Kind of sort of a fantasy related take, but I look at the stat sheet, and it's kind of deceiving because Jonathan Taylor essentially played the entire first half.
Every snap.
He had everything.
Snap.
They
it
pulled
crazy.
away in the second half, so that's when you see DJ Giddens and those guys get touches. But when it mattered, Jonathan Taylor was literally on the field every single snap.
Yeah, he was on the field every snap. Pittman looked good. Tyler Warren was great. If they can get a true weapon at the tight end position, that will be interesting for them. I think Shane Steichen really wants that. They've been talked about for a tight end for a couple years now, and it seems like they got it. So that's exciting. But yeah, we can move over to Miami because I'm going to need to see it a little bit more from the Colts.
You know who's good on the Colts. You know Jonathan Taylor's good. You know Tyler Warren's exciting, but you just got to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not ready to put them winning that division after one game.
Dolphins, dude. Where do we go?
Dude, this was bad. This was a hard watch. Tua,
Zach Wilson got time in this game.
Tua had a passer rating of 51. He threw for 114 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks, and the stats are better than he played. Like, he got 3 sacks. He fumbled also. Did he fumble once or twice? He fumbled once, lost it. It was a really bad game, and it was the type of game where Tyreek was frustrated on the sideline, and at times receivers get frustrated on the sideline, and it's just like, it's just kind of part of the flow of the season. This looked real. This looked like I'm going to talk about another receiver that was disgruntled this week. This looked like this is barreling towards, like, he's going to want out. If this doesn't turn around, he is going to want out, and that's a big problem.
If they lose, their season might be done as it is if this is what their team is going to look like. But if he goes, it's like officially over. We're assuming they're done right now, but they will be done if he's gone.
Yeah, I'm assuming Tyreek Hill is going to be a Chief at some point this year.
And he will win a Super Bowl.
And he might win a Super Bowl, yeah. But this is like
Jalen Waddle took his weekly visit to the medical tent.
Yeah, he did, which was awesome. He had to get that in there to scare everyone. A-Chain looked fine. Like, you look at it and he had, like, you're like, man, 8 yards of carry. He ran the ball 7 times. Like, they couldn't run the ball. And some of that was, like, garbage time, and they had kind of loosened up the defense. Yeah, I don't know. Even the Tua touchdown, it was like a swing pass to Devon A-Chain where he ran for like a 15-yard touchdown. Like, called it behind the line of scrimmage, ran for 15 yards. It wasn't like he threw a dime in the corner of the end zone. This was bad, man. And this is a team that, if things don't turn around, there's going to be quarterback and coach questions in the middle of the season. Not in the offseason. Middle of the season, there's going to be quarterback and coach questions. So, hope they can turn it around.
Yep. All right. Another game. We'll kind of speed run through some of these next ones. So, just looking at our time here. Raiders, Patriots.
Yeah.
I thought Geno looked sharp. He really did. He looked very good.
This is a real stat I'm about to give you. Geno had, listen to this, 9 20-plus yard completions.
I believe
9. That's impossible. That's impossible. But
if
he
you watched
great.
the game, you believe it.
Genty wasn't able to get anything going, but I'm not worried about him. Bowers had a couple big plays. He wasn't overly involved. He had a couple big plays. Got hurt, yeah. Jacoby Myers looked good. The Raiders look good. I'm higher on the Raiders than most. I'll say that. I think they have a real chance to finish third in that division with the Broncos finishing fourth. I thought that before the season. I had a take in a podcast that never got posted that the Broncos weren't making the playoffs, by the way. Just want to get that out there. But good for the Raiders.
Josh never put it out.
Starting with a win on the road. Good for them. But we can – I think we can go pretty quickly through
I didn't watch a
England.
ton of this game, but from everything I've heard, that Drake May did not look good in the second half at all. I don't know how much you watched.
Oh, he was bad. Ben, he was bad. Like, this is the type of game that Drake May had a lot of positive momentum in the offseason. Like, I didn't think he had a great rookie year, but everyone just talked like he did. And then, they add
Josh
Stephon
has
Diggs,
been
and we get very
incredibly high on him for fantasy and dynasty.
Yeah.
Josh has been very
Which
in
is
on
so
Drake May.
weird. Which is so weird because I'm a Tar Heel fan. He's an NC State fan, and he loves Drake May way more than I do. But anyways, but it was all positive. It was like Vrabel's coming back, and we got this, and Drake May, and it would have really been nice for him to have a decent game. And I guess the stats don't look atrocious. They don't look good. 80 passer rating, 287, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Ran the ball a little bit. Actually, no, he didn't. He only ran for 11 yards. He played bad. I don't know. Stephon Diggs had 7 targets, which he's a guy you're going to need to get the ball to, especially if you're not going to win. Kayshon Boutte looked good, but I don't know. They play the Dolphins this week, I think, so we'll know more after that.
And a note for fantasy, if you own Travion, I'm not super worried, but Ramondre Stevenson did play 65% of the snaps in this game, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get worried about rookie running back snap shares the first 4 weeks, really. No. I do in redraft. In redraft, I avoid rookies, but in Dynasty, I'm not worried at all. So,
all right. This next game was actually a very good game. I watched all of this game, Jets-Steelers. I was honestly upset when this was one of my in-market games. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I want to see Atlanta or somebody like that. No, this was a great game. This was an outstanding game.
Oh, you wanted to watch it. Yeah.
So it was the Jets the entire time? Aaron Rodgers is not washed, is what I'm getting from that?
So I don't think it was the Jets. The thing that nobody ever talks about, I watched sports talk all last year. No one ever brought this up. The guy was coming off a torn Achilles at 40 years old. What did you want him to do? Like, I'm not sitting here saying, look, he had a great game, right? 137 rating, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He had a great game. I don't think he's an MVP candidate. I don't think he's that level of player anymore. I don't. I would be shocked, honestly, if this wasn't his best game of the year. Like, I doubt he's going to have a game this good again.
And he was mad about the
people
Jets.
have him as like
he wanted to come out and dominate them.
I guarantee you, he's way better than people thought. I guarantee you, if you ask every person in NFL media, who would you rather have this season, Bo Nix or Aaron Rodgers, 100% would have said Bo Nix. I would not have. He's still Aaron Rodgers. He still processes the game at such a high level. He still can put it anywhere he wants. The biggest issue is mobility in the pocket, and is he going to stand there and take hits? Those are the only 2 issues for Aaron Rodgers, other than the off-the-field locker room stuff. On the field, the only question is he going to stand there and take hits? And can he move in the pocket? Other than that, the dude probably is – no, he definitely is the smartest quarterback in the NFL at this point, based on Tom not being there anymore and all the old guys are gone. And how many guys throw a better ball? Some guys might have a better arm still. Are there 5 guys that throw a better ball than Aaron Rodgers in the NFL?
There is not.
Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, so he looked great. Great for them to get a win. Glad he was able to get a win at the Jets. That was
sweet
good
for him. Only thing of note for the Steelers, I got 2 things. A, the run defense did not look good, and I've talked to a buddy of mine, Jake, who's a Steelers fan. He talked to me before the season about the run defense last year. So the fact that still doesn't look great is concerning for the Steelers. Breece Hall ran all over him. And Caleb Johnson was nowhere to be seen. He had 1 carry for -2 yards.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this. I think Caleb Johnson is the best running back the Steelers have. I also think this. This is my biggest fantasy take of the podcast. Aaron Rodgers hurts Caleb Johnson. And it's not because they don't the play style or anything like that. It's not that. Aaron Rodgers is 41. He's not looking to bring on a project running back. He's not interested.
He's literally
in a rookie
double
running
Caleb
back.
Johnson's age.
He wants if you said, "Hey, Aaron, I'll give you 2 options. You can have one guy who might give you 4.5 yards a carry, but there's going to be some mental mistakes. There's going to be some pre-snap penalties. He's not always going to be the best in pass protection. He's not going to understand the defenses." Or you can have a guy that may run for 3.8 yards a carry, but he's going to know where to be, right? He understands defenses. He's going to be 20% better in pass protection. He's just going to say, "Give me that guy." He's going to say, "Give me the guy that's been around, that knows the league, and I'll take that he's not efficient running the ball." I think that's going to hurt Caleb. I don't think Caleb Johnson is trying to prove himself to Mike Tomlin or to Arthur Smith or the GM. He's got to prove himself to Aaron Rodgers, and it's not about how efficient he can be running the ball. It's about, can you block? Do you understand what this defensive end's trying to do? Are you going to be in the right spot on this pass pattern? Those are the things he's going to have to overcome to get run. I still think he's the best running back on the team.
That's a good point.
Those are the hurdles he's going to have to get over to play.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, on the Jets side of things, Justin Fields might have played the best I've ever seen him play a football game.
For sure. Yep.
I mean, he was on time. He was accurate. He didn't throw a ton. But you don't expect Justin Fields to go out there and throw 34 passes a game. 22 passes is about, if you want to win games with Justin Fields as your quarterback, that's where you
excellent.
need to be, is 20 to 25 passes a game.
Right. And that's where Rattler needs to be.
Yes.
Something like that. He did try to Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, just trying to get the whole Ohio State group back together there. No, he was great. This is a game that I just don't know what to take away from. I truly don't. I don't know how good the Steelers defense is. You know, if it turns out and the Steelers defense is giving up 25, 30 points every week, this game means nothing. But if next week the Steelers go, I think they play – who do they play next week? The Seahawks. Gosh. If the Steelers go and give up 10 points against the Seahawks, then this means a lot, right? I don't know exactly how to feel about it, but it was a good start to the season for him, and it's at least going to build his confidence for sure.
Yeah. I was excited as a fantasy player to see Breece Hall looked good. He looked explosive. He didn't look last year. He did not have his explosiveness. And Garrett Wilson on the new contract he's true number one.
Yeah, he's a great player. Great player.
All right. Your Commanders versus the Giants. Yeah. This was one of the uglier games of the day, for sure.
We can go quick here. I mean, you know, they win 21-6. They did not play great. Jaden did not play great. Like, the numbers really look pretty good. If you watch the game, he made a bad mistake going into the half that cost him points, and he was just a little off. Just missed Terry on a long touchdown. Just a little off. I think I chalk it up to first game of the year, right? Rust. Bill Krosky-Merritt, say what you want. The man had 82 yards on 10 carries. Jaden ran for like 70 yards. Like, that was – you love seeing that with your quarterback. Debo looked good.
Debo looked very
Terry
good.
wasn't involved. I'm not worried about that. Zach Ertz had a few drops,
Terry
which
missed
was
a lot
concerning.
of training camp too, so that probably chalked that up to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Chalk it up to, we didn't play that well, but we opened with the Giants at home. I mean, you got to win that game, and they did. I got two interesting things with the Giants, though.
All right, let's
Unless you have something with the Commanders.
No,
something else.
I really didn't have much.
Okay.
It was, you picked a great game to open with. You didn't play great, but you can beat the Giants.
Come away with a win. Russ didn't play well, right? He played awful. 17 for 37, no touchdowns, no picks. He did fumble inside the 5 or 10 yard line, which was a disaster for them. It looked like they could maybe get back in the game, but they ended up kicking a field goal. It was just not good. I don't put it on him. That offensive line was atrocious. That offensive line was the worst offensive line play I saw this week. And I know their left tackle's out. Maybe he comes back and that just settles things. They looked really bad. The Malik Neighbors situation, he's the other disgruntled receiver I want to talk about. He had 12 targets, 71 yards, right? He was not a great fantasy game, but he looked really good if you watched the game. Him being disgruntled, he doesn't have the cachet, he doesn't have the dirt in his spikes to demand a trade or anything like that. I'll tell you what I bet he does have, Ben. Him acting up and getting this upset, I guarantee you he has the clout to push the week they want to start Jackson Dart up by probably 2 or 3 weeks. I guarantee you, if he causes enough fuss about this, even though I don't think it was Russ's fault, really, maybe Dayball's thinking, hey, week 6, that's when we want to start Dart. I guarantee you, if he acts up enough, they'll push that up to week 4 or week 3 because you just can't have your best player getting that upset. That's the only interesting things I have about the Giants, I think.
No, that's a good take. Yeah, I mean, if Neighbors was up for a new contract, he could do some kind of stuff, but it's only his second year, so he can't be vocal about it yet.
No. But I guarantee you, in that locker room, he can, and they know. Like if Jackson Dart is looking better than Russ, the players know it, and it's just the coaching staff and ownership wanting to protect him at this point. But if they know Dart's better, he's going to play.
Daboll's still in the hot
players
seat,
will only take so
Daboll
much.
needs him to play well.
Yeah, but that I think actually works against him playing early. I think Daboll wants to save him so he can get as much reps in and look as good as possible when he comes in to save Daboll's job. I don't think Daboll wants to play him too early and ruin his confidence. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic for the Giants.
Yeah. All right. The next game we don't need to spend a ton of time on. Jacksonville, Carolina. The only things I have really to say is, and it's the same thing you probably have to say too, Trevor Lawrence did not look good.
No, they blew him out. He didn't look great. The connection with BTJ was not good. BTJ was open several times and he missed him. Travis Hunter was interesting. Didn't play a lot of defense. I did see they came out and said he's going to play more defense next week. So we'll see what that looks like when you got to worry about Jamar and T because they play the Bengals. We'll learn a lot about Jacksonville next week, I think.
Please put him as a Jamar Chase fantasy owner. Please put him on Jamar Chase. Please do that.
Yeah. I don't know how much we learned about the Jags from this game, honestly. I mean, they dominated from start to finish. There was also a weird, 2-hour break in the middle of this game.
With the
it was
storm.
just
So that screws up a lot of stuff too. That happened in college football a lot too with Clemson and Carolina. That the rain delays threw everything off.
I will say this: he did look better before the delay. After the delay, he looked rough. Maybe that had something to do with it, but we didn't learn a lot from the Jags. I don't think.
No, and from Carolina, the only thing I can think of is Tet McMillan looks like the good number one. He played well from
right
as their one, but that was a disaster.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm worried about Bryce. He hasn't. He was the number one pick, but we saw some flashes last year. He ended the season well, but we didn't see the kind of flashes that buy you a lot of time. And if he can't, he's definitely in danger. Last year he got benched and was brought back and played well. He's in danger of just losing his job. I'm pulling for him. I hope he picks it up, but the tape was not good from Sunday.
Yeah, it's early, so hopefully they can turn it around. Bengals, Cleveland. This was a disgusting game, start to finish as well.
All I'll say, and we've said it a few times, they survived. Like past few years, they lose this game.
This could be the best. This could be best case scenario because they looked bad last year, like this against the Patriots, and they lost. This time they look the exact same and they win. Talk to me in week 4.
I would
At
just
least
say this.
they've got one under their belt.
Yeah, I'll just say this, man, that they don't have the type of defense where you can score 17 points a game and win a lot. Last year they scored 30 points a game and weren't winning a lot. So something's got to give if they want to. In my head, they're not a Super Bowl contender. The Bengals are not a Super Bowl contender right now, in my head. They're a playoff contender, but not a Super Bowl contender. Hey, they're winning the division, so that counts for something, I guess. Along with, they're tied with the Steelers, obviously, but the Ravens lost. But unless they can prove to me that they can be a top 18 defense, which you can't gather anything from this. No, they don't need an elite defense. Unless they can, because I'm not worried about their offense. It looked bad, but I'm not worried about it. Unless they can show me they can be a top 18 defense, which they cannot. They couldn't have proven in this game against the Browns. They're not a Super Bowl contender until I see that. So hopefully they can get that going. And the NFL is more fun when they are a Super Bowl contender. So I hope they can get that going.
Not going to spend a lot of time on the Browns. It's just what it is. This is the Browns. I'm excited to see Quinshon Judkins. They said he's going to be practicing this week, and hopefully will debut week 2. So I'm excited for that. So we'll move on. Yeah,
they were able to get pressure on the quarterback. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
They did that.
49ers Seahawks. Everyone is hurt for the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk is on IR. George Kittle is now heading to IR. They said it is very likely that Brock Purdy misses the next game. It's not good when Christian McCaffrey is the healthiest player you have.
No, I don't love that. And it's tough for these guys. It feels like every year for these guys, people have, had their hypotheses. They say it's the way they practice or this or that, whatever. I don't know. It seems like a lot of these injuries happen in the game, not in practice. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just sometimes you have to pay players and get players based on what they do on the field, and just sometimes you get one that's more injury prone, and sometimes as a team you get 4 or 5, and it feels like every year you're battling this. So maybe that's what it was. Look, man, they got a divisional win on the road. Purdy made some mistakes. He played well for like 80% of the game, but 20% of the plays, man, he was trying to lose. Like, he threw a terrible pick in this game, and he threw 2 picks, but one of them was just awful. Like, you just can't do it type pick that, like, against really good teams, that loses you the games. They were able to come back and win. He makes the final drive, throws the touchdown, which was a great play by that tight end, whoever that was. But they come away with a win. But we're going to see, they have the Saints next week, so they're not out of it. But my goodness, if Purdy doesn't play, come on, Mac Jones.
Yeah. Takes from the Seahawks. I've got 2. They're probably the obvious ones. One, they need to find somebody else at wide receiver 2. Jackson Smith and Jigba, dominant target share, and he looked good, but the next guy on the team had 3 targets.
Yeah, for me, the biggest problem, and it's going to affect both things you're going to talk about, but it definitely affects the receivers, I would say, maybe more. The O-line, there wasn't a lot of time to sit back there and pat the ball. Now, I know the 49ers with Robert Saleh back, that's formidable. Like, say what you want. They weren't great last year. Robert Saleh is back in the building. Like, that's a formidable team. Defense. So maybe that had something to do with it. But, yeah, even with the O-line, you got to get more production from the receiving corps than they did. Who knows? They play, like I said, they play the Steelers next week. The Steelers gave up a lot of offense to the Jets, so
they gave up a lot of running.
They can get that going.
They gave a lot of rushing yards to the Jets too. So hopefully they can figure out which running back is the starter.
Yeah, they don't know. It's not that they don't know. The problem is that they genuinely don't care. This is a fantasy discussion. This isn't a real life discussion. I don't see a lot of difference when Kenneth Walker's on the field or Charbonnet's on the field with the offense. But for fantasy purposes, they don't care. Like, if they thought of Kenneth Walker as 1A and Charbonnet as 1B, when they got on the goal line, Walker would have been in there. and he wasn't. So I don't feel good about either. I'm also not ready to say Charbonnet is the back you want to start in fantasy. I thought the game script was just weird. They alternate drives, and it just so happened that the good drives were Charbonnet drives. So I don't really want to start either of them if I can be honest. But I would still, if you have to pick, I would still start Walker. But yeah, it's not looking great for the Seattle running back group fantasy-wise.
Yeah. All right, Broncos, Titans. Your Broncos take is looking really good that they might not be a top 3 team in that division. I think they have a top 3 defense, and I think that's what propelled them last year. And if they go anywhere, it's going to be what propels them this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say the worst win of the weekend, this was the worst win of the weekend, I think. Saying Bo Nix didn't play well is a pretty big understatement. Bo Nix was hard to watch at times. He tried to lose this game against a rookie quarterback. I mean, I know he's only a second-year guy, but let me pull up the box score right here.
He was 25.
He had a 60 rating.
Yeah, 1 touchdown.
60 rating, 2 picks. Yeah, he didn't run the ball effectively. Ran the ball a lot, didn't run it effectively. Yeah, I'm not as high as the general population was on the Broncos this year. Now, this game certainly doesn't say they're out of it, doesn't say they're done, doesn't say they're not going to be good. They can still be good, make the playoffs, prove me wrong and everything, but I haven't been high on them. I thought if you look at the list of quarterbacks they beat last year, oh my goodness, it's C.J. Stroud, I think one more current starting quarterback, and then a bunch of just like guys who are either out of the league or third string quarterbacks. I mean, they were not beating starters. So I don't know. I'm not as high on them, so I'm not as surprised as a lot of people are, but some people are really surprised with the game they put up.
Yeah. I guess I'm not. I thought the Titans had a good defense too, so I'm not surprised it was low scoring. I'm surprised that Bo Nix looked as bad as he did. But I think it's going to be the same thing. If they win games, it's going to be because they have a great defense. And they do. They have an unbelievable defense, which is why I don't really have many takes on the Titans, because rookie quarterback, tough situation against an elite defense.
Goodness.
It's way too early to make any sort of take on Cam Ward.
No, first game of your career at Denver with the altitude, opening day with the ruckus crowd. No, that's a brutal spot for a rookie. And he played better than the box score. Box score's terrible, but he played better than the box score. He was sacked 6 times, which that's a real problem. That's something that a few of those were like rookie sacks. As in, like, if you weren't a rookie, if you'd been around the game, you don't take that sack there. But, you know, he's got to learn.
He's a rookie.
Like, these guys don't come in. Yeah, these guys don't come into the league ready to play. Like, you know, so I'm not concerned about Cam Ward. A lot of people are actually walking away from this game thinking more highly of him, even with the stats that you see.
I've heard
he
that a lot.
He had some bad drops. That really hurts the stats, and their ability to win. I mean, they could have won this game. That's the thing. Like, if some of those drops don't take place and they're able to get field goals on drives where they punted, they could have won, which is really scary, I think, for Denver. But I've liked Cam Ward the whole time. I felt kind of bad for him in the draft process of how he was covered. So this was good. Good for him.
Rams Houston. I feel like we've got more probably Rams take or Houston take than Rams takes. Rams have a good defense. Puka Nacua looked great. Matthew Stafford was efficient, so that's really all you want to see. Run game, not as efficient as you would like, but again, the Texans also have a very good defense. So,
yeah, I think a lot of teams weren't able to run the ball. I think being able to run the ball early in the year, I think it takes time. You know, you come out and the offensive line, typically teams have new pieces, and it takes a little bit for those to gel, and defenses are usually ahead of offenses anyway, so I'm not super worried about that. Stafford, the stats look pretty good. I thought he was okay. This team, who knows how much Devontae has left? This team's really Puka reliant, which I think's fine for the regular season if he's healthy, but it just teams that are overly reliant on one receiver, it worries me a little bit about the playoffs because in the playoffs, teams really are focused in on what you do
did it
best.
3 years ago,
I think
or 4 years ago, with Cooper Kupp.
Did what 4 years ago? Oh, with Cooper Kupp. Yeah. They did it with Cooper Kupp, but they had other options on that team that were making a difference. Like
Robert Woods.
You look at this. You look at this target tree. Like 19 of the 28 targets was Puka and Devontae only called half his targets. So I don't know. I feel pretty good about the Rams. I like them to win that division. So. And they get a win week 1. Not a pretty win, but they get a win. So
yeah. C.J. Stroud, I feel like it's the same problems we were having last year. He's answered none of the questions that we had after a down year last year.
I would say there's 2 players after week 1 that I have true concerns about, and he's one of them. Like, we thought last year was a sophomore slump.
And a bad offensive line.
What he did his rookie year.
Got hurt.
Right. People love what he did his rookie year. If you look at his rookie year, he didn't put up crazy stats. They won. Like, he turned the team around, which was awesome. The team started winning, and then they won a playoff game his rookie year. They beat the Browns, right? Yeah, they beat the Joe Flacco Browns.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what people loved, right? They didn't love – I think they thought they loved the stats. The stats were never gaudy. So last year he comes in and the stats even take a hit a little bit, and they regressed. Like D'Amico Ryans caused Justin Herbert to throw 4 picks in the playoff game, so they got to win. They won this bad division. They got to win against the Chargers in the playoffs. And then they come out this year – and it's more of the same. I mean, 188 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick, 74 rating. Like, I'm beginning to get a little worried with C.J. Stroud, just a little bit, that he might not be. He's definitely not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, which everyone would have thought he was going to be going into last season. He's certainly not there, and I'm not 100% sure he's a top 15 quarterback right now. That's what we're looking at with Stroud, and he's still young. He can turn it around, but I'm gonna need to see more from him as the year goes on.
Yeah, I mean it was tough, a tough fantasy outing if you were a Nico Collins owner. I won a game because of Nico Collins.
Yeah.
All right, 3 games left. I know we're running a little bit long, but they're the biggest games left. Packers, Lions. We'll start with the Packers. It really was just all systems go. Nothing was spectacular offensively for the Packers, but they were just pretty good everywhere. I think the wide receiver position looks the same. There isn't a 1 right now, still, even with Matthew Golden.
Yeah. There were, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Packers with a target, and nobody had more than 5. So
I was watching
that's
that game,
Packers.
And I'm pretty sure they said at the end of the first quarter, 7 different receivers had caught passes. At the end of the first quarter, 7 guys has already caught passes.
It's infuriating. 7 guys. No, how many guys did I just say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 guys caught passes. Nobody caught 4. So that is infuriating. But this was the best win of the weekend. This was the absolute best win of the weekend. It turns out to be 27-13. Jared Goff gets a garbage time touchdown late, which was an incredible play. Best catch of the weekend by whoever that was. What was the guy's name?
Isaac Tesla.
Oh, was that Tesla? I didn't realize that. I saw it, but I didn't see the name. I didn't realize. Okay, interesting. A lot of people were liking him in the third round of rookie drafts. This is the best one of the weekend. And, they kind of did it everywhere. They didn't run the ball great. Again, a theme of this weekend. They spread it around. That's what they do. Jordan Love, that's the type of game where it's like, as a quarterback, you just have to have a feel. We're dominating the line of scrimmage both ways. Just don't lose it for us. And he didn't. He took no sacks. He turned the ball over 0 times. When you're controlling the game like they were, that's all you can ask for. So good for him on that. I think that this game, the most telling game for the NFL this year or this week, I believe is the game Thursday night. I believe it is Packers-Commanders because it's hard to know how much of this game was Detroit just played awful and maybe Lauren is good versus how good are the Packers really. And you can say the same thing about the Commanders game. I think with how both these teams dominated their week 1 games, 2 teams that we think are contender-ish in the NFC. I think the Packers certainly are. I think the Commanders are probably that second tier of contenders in the NFC. Yeah, I think this is the most telling game of the year. If the Commanders come out and their defensive line dominates the Packers like they did the Giants with what the Packers offensive line just did with the Lions, that's going to tell us a lot. If the Packers come out and steamroll the Commanders and dominate the line of scrimmage, that's going to tell us a lot about what happened in week 1 for the Commanders. So I think the most telling game of this week 2 is Packers-Commanders, so we can really see how the NFC is actually shaping up this year.
Yeah. I don't feel like I learned a ton from the Lions. We were kind of calling this, and a lot of other people were too. The same thing happened with the Eagles a few years ago when they made the Super Bowl, then lose both coordinators. It's just going to be hard for them to be the dominant team we expect. I think they will figure it out. I think they're still a good team, but it's going to be hard for them to, they're not going to be the Lions that we've seen the past 2 years. They're just not. They lost Ben Johnson. They lost Aaron Glenn. It's a different system. It's a different play caller. Well, maybe not a different system, but it's a different play caller. It's not going to be the same.
I think I'm a little more worried about the Lions than you are.
Well, I guess when I say that, don't say I think they're going to figure it out and be a playoff team or anything. I think they're better than what they showed for sure. But I'm with you. The writing might have been on the wall though.
This is I'm trying to think how to say this. There's something I saw in this game, something everyone saw. I don't have these crazy great NFL eyes. Something everyone saw in this game that if it's true, the Lions might be done. If that interior offensive line is as bad as it showed this week and they're not able to run the ball, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
They're in trouble. I don't expect them to be running backs 20 carries for 44 yards like they were this game. They're not going to be that bad. But what made the Lions so good last year is they could do all the trickery and all the fun and spread it out and go deep. They could do that because they knew they could run the ball on first down and get 6 or 7 yards. They knew they could run it on 2nd and 5 and pick up a first down. They always had that in their back pocket. If they don't have that in their back pocket, Ben, do you remember what happened to Jared Goff when Todd Gurley fell off?
Yes, I do. He was traded. He was so bad.
He's not the type of guy who can carry you if he doesn't have a running game. He's got great weapons. We love the running back weapons. We love the receiver, tight end weapons. I'm not concerned about the weapons as far as making plays for him. I'm concerned, dude, if they can't run the ball, Jared Goff is not going to be the player we've seen the last 2 years. He's just not. I can say that with 100% certainty. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Mahomes. He's not Lamar. He's got to have that running game. If that interior offensive line doesn't improve, they lost all 3 members of it. All 3 members. If that doesn't improve, they might be in trouble.
Yeah, I think it's them, and after what I saw Monday night, and obviously we'll talk about it, I think they are right now being optimistic the 3rd best team in the division. I think both the Vikings and the Packers, and obviously the Packers proved it, they're far and away better than them right now. I don't know what else to add to it. Like you said, I mean, I think the personnel is there. They have good players, but the interior offensive line, like you mentioned, it's too much for them to figure out right now. Not with brand new coaches everywhere.
For sure, to me, the biggest thing of this game is the interior offensive line not being able to run the ball. That's a much bigger deal to me than losing the game. Look, you lose opening week at Lambeau Field, I'm not going to kill you for that. That's not a thing I don't care, right? Teams lose those games. Those are tough games, division games. I understand losing. If they can't run the ball, mind you, Jared Goff also took 4 sacks. So it's not like he was protected super well. If they can't run the ball, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for that offense. And I don't even think it's a Ben Johnson thing. I really think it's an interior O-line thing. If
they could run it with their new play caller, I don't even know who it is, but if they can run the ball, I'm not worried about them. But I do agree. If Gibbs and Montgomery Gibbs and Montgomery are, I don't care who the pass catchers are, they are the fuel for that offense. That's the engine. And then, Amon-Ra and the other guys, they are the take it over the top, win the game guys. But that's the fuel.
Right.
That's the engine. And if that's not there, they're not going to win many games.
Yeah, even on Amon-Ra's best games, his games where he just takes over and dominates, he's not the most important part. The most important part is in their back pocket, they always had first down, we can run it and get 7 or 8 yards. Third down, we can run it on 3rd and 3 if we have to. That's a huge deal. If that piece is gone, they're going to have to figure out another way to win, and it's not that easy to figure out other ways to win in the NFL.
No. All right, last 2 games, and of course we've spent all this time and saved the biggest 2 games for last, but let's talk about Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills versus Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Did we just have the game of the year, week 1 of the NFL? I don't know if there is going to be a better game the rest of this season than that game. I was starstruck. My eyes were glued to the TV, floored. Unbelievable game.
Can we talk Buffalo Bills? Can we talk Josh Allen for a second?
Yes. You I am okay talking Josh Allen.
He's the most impressive player in the NFL. I think I believe 100% with all my heart Patrick Mahomes is the best. Actually, I know it in my bones. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. 5 minutes left in the game. There's nobody I'd rather have. Right? I know Allen was great in this game in the end. But there's nobody more impressive than Josh Allen. That's when he won.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nobody in the history of the NFL that can do the things Josh Allen can do. I mean, he's almost like this. I'm gonna give a cross sports comparison, and it's probably not a perfect one. Travis Hunter is not the closest thing in the NFL to Shohei Ohtani. Josh Allen's the closest thing in the NFL to Shohei Ohtani. Like, he's a running back in a different way than Lamar Jackson is running back. I know he only rushed for 30 yards this game, but the way he is able to just finish every third down, finish every goal line carry, finish everything is unbelievable. Being able to do that, along with being able to go out there and throw 46 passes for 400 yards. There's just never, I don't know if there's ever been another player that can do that. Like, he is what everyone wanted, what everyone thought Cam Newton could be. He is Cam Newton if Cam Newton was 30% better of a passer. Like, it's remarkable. He's amazing. He has 4 or 5 of these games a year, and you can't say enough good things.
Well, everybody likes to make the running back joke about Lamar, and we can make it about Josh Allen too, and I'll give Lamar his flowers too because he is. But I think at this point in his career, Josh Allen is genuinely one of the top 5 overall passers in the league. Like, he's up there with he's neck and neck with Mahomes. He's neck and neck with Joe Burrow, and Joe I feel like has been the past few years seen as like, oh well, he's the best passer in the NFL. Like, Josh Allen is just as good as passer as him. and he's 6'6", 250 pounds, and can run like that. He might be the most.
If you wanted to say Josh,
he's the most impressive player in the NFL.
If you wanted to say Josh Allen's the best passer in the league, I think I'm there with you. I think he's the best passer in the league. Like the way he just every game produces all these stats, and these are not empty stats, man. This is not Dak Prescott 3 years ago where he'd throw for 200 yards in the fourth quarter when they were down 18 points. This is like gotta have it moments every time, and he just makes plays. Like literally, we are talking about 6 to 10 total plays separating him and Patrick Mahomes for their whole career, all in the playoffs and matchups together. 6 to 10 plays turned differently. We could be talking about Josh Allen already past Tom Brady. Like, that's the type of player he is. Now, all of those have gone Mahomes' way, and I think that's a lot to do, like, credit to Mahomes on those. But, like, this is the type of player this is. It's an organizational thing. Dude, he's remarkable. I think we talk about the top four quarterbacks. I think the order of the top five. No, I think the order of the top five is set in stone. I don't think there's any argument. I think you have to have Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Jalen Hurts. I think that has to be your top five at this point, just based on what all those guys have accomplished. He's the most impressive player in the NFL, period.
Yeah. And I love it's kind of a knock on the Bills fan base. Like, you had early in the game when Lamar was dominating and they jumped up. I don't know if you caught it, but there were MVP chants coming from Ravens fans in the Bills stadium. Like, audible, you could hear them when Lamar was doing well.
Yeah. And
then the Bills fans are leaving early in the third quarter. I'm like, you understand you have one of the best, maybe the best player. Obviously, Mahomes' best quarterback. You might have the best player in the NFL. You're leaving early, and they're just clamoring to come back in the stadium as he just pulls this miracle out of nowhere. There's a reason he was the MVP last year. There is a reason. It's because he is potentially, obviously I know Mahomes is there, the best quarterback in the NFL, along with being the best player. There's a reason he won the MVP.
I would argue you have to say Mahomes is the best because of the things he's accomplished, because of the plays he's made in the biggest moments in the playoffs. The history of me having those plays for Mahomes in my head is the only reason someone can sit here and say Josh Allen isn't the best player in the NFL.
If you watch the past 3 years, your eyes will tell you Josh Allen is better than Mahomes. I understand what Mahomes does in the playoffs, but the eye test the past 3 years, no one's touching that guy.
And if any of those games had gone a different way in the playoffs, then it's a coin flip. Like if let's say Allen had just won one of the past 2 years, like say Allen won 2 years ago or whatever it was, then it's different. It's hard to say it when it happens so often in the playoffs, but like I can't say enough good things. He might be the most impressive player I've ever seen in the regular season. Seriously,
it's possible.
Like honestly.
Yeah, and that really is the Bills' take. There's some negatives I'll say too. The run defense is a problem. That is a real problem. I understand they're playing against one of the great running backs of all time, Derrick Henry, but that was a problem. Yeah,
the defense as a whole is a problem. If they're going to give up 40, then yet again they'll be left outside looking in the Super Bowl.
I can't stand another game because I'm looking at how the Chiefs defense played. I don't think I could stomach another game where Josh Allen goes out there and drops 4 or 5 touchdowns on the Chiefs with no turnovers and loses again because his defense blows. I can't stomach that, dude.
You couldn't stomach it. Man. Yeah, they're going to have to improve there. Look, It's week 1 against the Ravens. Like, I'm not going to kill you, but that was atrocious. I mean, they ran for 238 yards, 8 yards a carry. Like, and yeah, Lamar had 11. Quarterbacks are weird, yards per carry. Derrick Henry had 9. So, like, let's not pretend like, I mean,
no.
So That's going to have to improve. But I have more to say about not Lamar, but the Ravens.
Yeah, on the Ravens side, I'll say the same thing that I say about Josh Allen in the playoffs. Like, that ain't his fault. Lamar didn't lose that game.
This was not Lamar's fault.
I thought on the 4th and 2, on the 4th and 2, I think this must have been right when they punted it to them and the Bills got the field goal. They were in their own territory. I thought they should have gone for it. It's the same thing with it's a similar thing to Mahomes. I'm like, do you not see what he's done in this fourth quarter? If you give him the ball back, I don't care if you punt it down to the 10. He's going to drive it down the field. They should have gone for it. That's what I thought.
That was the worst. That was the worst coaching decision of the weekend.
You cannot give him the ball back.
Coaches. Just I don't understand why coaches don't get this. Josh Allen has been torching you. I've said this the whole time we've had this podcast. Let your best players decide the outcome of the game. Don't sit there and let a punt and your defense decide the outcome of this game. Let Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, your two best players, call up a play to get 2 yards. Let them decide the game. Don't leave the game up to your defense that can't stop this guy. Hasn't stopped this guy for, well, actually, I think they crushed him last year. But don't let the defense decide this game. Just let your best players decide it. I'll never understand
it. Had 269 yards in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter alone, 269 yards. They were dominating this game for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then you gave Josh Allen the opportunity to put the cape on, and he did.
Yeah. Lamar was sensational. Not his fault at all. Nowhere close.
No. 0% of this is on Lamar.
Henry was sensational. Obviously, Henry had the fumble that just can't happen. I mean, you just can't do it.
It's the same thing as like CD with the drops. Like, he knows that. Like, how much time can you spend here? He knows that.
Yeah, but he was sensational. He was fun to watch. Obviously, the game was fun to watch. But the Ravens, you can't lose these games. Like, they just lose too many of them with double-digit 14, 15-point leads. They just lose way too many of them.
I mean, if you follow sports accounts on any social media, you've seen the picture people throw up of, like, all the games where they've had leads in the fourth quarter, and then the stat that's like Harbaugh lost all of these games. Like, it's a pattern now.
Yeah. I can't. It's week 1. I don't want to overreact.
It's week 1, and these are two of the best teams in the league.
It's the last few years. It's just going to be hard for me to pick the Ravens in a playoff game against the Bills or Chiefs. It's just going to be hard just because they find a way to lose. Great teams find a way to win. This team finds a way to lose. So, yeah. I don't know.
Either way, I can't panic on either one of them yet because these are two of the best teams in the league, and they gave each other everything they had. So it is what it is.
It was a fun game.
Great game. Game of the year, and I'm willing to go ahead and label it game of the year. All right, finishing up. Minnesota versus Chicago. Again, start with Minnesota. I was impressed with J.J. McCarthy, and the reason I was impressed with J.J. McCarthy obviously is the fourth quarter because they had every reason to give up in that game. They were getting beat down pretty much. He had every opportunity to say, like, let's back off. We're not going to win this one. Let's regroup next week. We'll see what we got. Throws the pick six in the second half to start off, and you're like, okay, this really isn't going to be it. And in the fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings grit their teeth and claw their way back into this game. I was impressed with that.
I was blown away. I thought there was a point in that game where I thought it's impossible they win.
There was a point in that game where I thought genuinely they were going to call Atlanta for Kirk Cousins. He knows the system. I'm like, they're going to call him. They're going to call him.
Dude, our group chat was going crazy. Our group chat was talking about J.J. McCarthy like he was Jake Delhomme like years back. Like they were talking about him like he was just absolute nothing. Now, one of those guys is an Ohio State fan, so that has something to do with it.
The thing is, though, he was playing like it. He was doing nothing.
Well, he was playing bad, but I'm thinking, dude, this is his guy's first game in 2 years, and he's at Soldier Field, week 1, ruckus crowd. This crowd's fired up. Ben Johnson, Caleb, the whole 9 yards, and y'all are like, he's done. I was thinking, dude, give the guy a second. And then he comes back and plays great in the fourth quarter. I was shocked. He's in a great situation. There's no denying the situation he's in. Kevin O'Connell, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, a run game with the running backs combined are good. So good.
Jordan
run
Mason
game.
looked very good, I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see more from this team to think they're division contenders or they're certainly not Super Bowl contenders. Like I'm gonna need to see a lot more from a. I'm gonna call him a rookie. I know he's not a rookie, but he is. So it was great. It was a great win for the Vikings. This is the type of win that can carry you for a month, a few weeks, a month, and give a lot of guys confidence in JJ, because it looked like for a little bit one JJ was pretty upset with the other JJ.
That's something I was keeping my eye on the whole time. I'm like, dude, Justin Jefferson, when if he starts pitching a fit, this is going to be a problem.
Because he's not been that guy. He has not been that guy in his career.
No, he's always been pretty mellow and even keel.
I'm telling you, man, with the NFL rookie quarterbacks, more than any position in any sport, because so many people are relying on you, it's tough to be a rookie quarterback in the NFL, especially when you have established veterans that are counting on you to win. They don't care about your development. They want to win. Like, they're trying to win Super Bowls. They're trying to be Hall of Famers. They're trying to do all those things. And they can't do it if you don't learn quick. That's a tough place to be, especially with a guy like Justin Jefferson. If he starts causing a fuss, that means something. And for them to get this win and get a little confidence and him to start feeling much better and JJ to get the game ball and all the great stuff, this is a big win for the Vikings. This could have set the season up very differently if JJ finishes the game how he started it. But this is awesome. I feel really good for him, feel good for the Vikings, and excited to see what he does.
And I feel like that how you ended that right there, you can say the exact opposite for the Bears. I mean, they started great and finished horribly. It was terrible. They did not run the ball well. And now, granted, Brian Flores' defense is very good in Minnesota. That's a very, very good defense they went up against. Yeah. But it didn't get much going in the running game.
A very difficult defense for young quarterbacks.
Yes.
We've seen that. We've heard guys. Who was it after the game that said that scheme was crazy? Was it Purdy, I think, last year after
something
the game?
Like
he told Flores that scheme was crazy.
He's got a little bit of that Spags in him to where he can draw some crap up that quarterbacks are like, I never saw that coming.
Right. And Kevin O'Connell gives you the answers to the test pretty good. He's a pretty sharp guy, but it's really tough when you're in the game and you feel like they're all over you. This was. I said I was concerned about two players really after week 1, and Caleb's one of them. You look at the stats; they look fine, right? He played okay in terms of stats, but I saw no jump from last year. To me, that looked like the exact same player. We thought Ben Johnson was going to change a lot of things, and look, it's week 1. First game in a new system. That's tough on guys. It's tough to learn a whole new system after you just spent all year learning one. So I give him a break on that part. The problem is Benny's just not accurate.
I thought he was quote-unquote more accurate than last year because I saw him sail so many balls. But it's still, I agree with you. It wasn't – I was not impressed by anything.
Dude, he was missing guys. He was missing guys by 5 yards, 6 yards, 10 yards. Like, he had some awful layup throws in this game. all the great quarterbacks, like they have certain traits about them. The one that always gets overlooked is accuracy. You've just got to be able to put the ball on guys in this league. You have to. Windows are not huge, right? Like you might play a game where guys are running wide open and it's a mess. That doesn't happen much. You might get 3 plays in the NFL where guys are wide open. Ben Johnson will give you a couple of those. I will say this. The touchdown he threw to Rome, that was one of the best red zone plays I've seen drawn up in a long time.
Yeah.
You don't ever see someone that open in the end zone as Rome was. That was crazy. That was a great play by Ben Johnson. But that doesn't happen is my point. Like, you've got to be able to put it on guys, and he has not shown the ability to do that. That scares me.
Something that worries me, too, in addition to that is I think Ben Johnson and Kevin O'Connell are very similar, as in they're not looking for a playmaker. They don't want – I mean, not that – when I say they don't want, like they don't need a Patrick Mahomes. They don't need a Josh Allen who can make something out of nothing. They need a guy – I need you to put this ball right here. I've already drawn up the play. I've schemed it up. I need this ball right here. And I think J.J. McCarthy will do that very well for Kevin O'Connell. I don't know how long Ben Johnson's patience will last with Caleb trying to make plays, if that makes sense.
Well, it's got to. They took him first overall. It has to. I mean, he doesn't have a choice. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a little bit of a square peg in a round hole in that situation, but he's got to be more accurate. He has some of the throws he makes are truly incredible. There truly are like very few guys who could make some of the throws he makes. But yeah, he's just not accurate enough. He's got to improve that. I've got to say this again. I said it on one of our podcasts. This is a huge point to me. I get it. Caleb was always the guy, right? He was always the guy. You go back and you look at all the draft reports, it was like Caleb. He's miles better than everybody else. I got to say this. They did not interview Jaden Daniels or Drake May or Bo Nix or Michael Penix. They didn't interview any of them. They didn't interview Jaden Daniels. Like, I know it was Caleb. That's your job. Your job is to turn over every rock to make sure. And it certainly doesn't look like they did that. And it doesn't really look like they made the right choice at this point. Could it change? Yes. But to not interview Jaden Daniels is crazy. Am I crazy on that?
No, absolutely not.
That's your job. That's your job. You can't just listen to Mel Kiper say he's the best and okay, he's the best, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I will talk about that the whole time Ryan Poles is the GM for the Bears. Like forever. Yeah. For the whole time. If Caleb goes on to be a Hall of Famer, I will always talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you had some pundits, like I believe Dan Orlovsky heading into the season was like, I think Jaden Daniels is the best. And he's never been more right. He's never been more right.
To this point, he looks really right. Really right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a long episode. Really fast, we'll stop in. You and I are actually going to be watching the games this weekend together, and Josh will be joining us too for that. In person together, that's going to be great. What game are you most excited for in week 2? Probably a layup. I can see it coming, but tell me.
Well,
there's 2 games.
I think after week 2, we're going to have a good feel for the NFC. I think seeing what the Eagles look like against this Chiefs team, and I think Packers-Commanders, I think those 2 games are really going to outline at least what this early to middle part of the season is going to look like for the NFC and what we can expect down the stretch. So I'm excited about both those games, but I'm also excited for Falcons-Vikings. I think that's going to be a fun one Sunday night. So
I'm really excited for that.
Should be good.
I'm also the other one. For reasons you can obviously tell, I would like to see Bears and Lions. I'm curious to see how both of those teams respond and look week 2 in back-to-back divisional games, which is
absolutely
crazy. Yeah,
absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, that was a long one. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. Let us know what you think of the new episodes. We're excited. Can't can't wait to have Josh on here again. It'll be fun. Hopefully we won't take this long every week, but we'll get a feel for it and we'll be good.
We had some intro stuff. We're going to try to keep it under 65 minutes. 65 minutes is what we want to shoot for, but we had some intro stuff and introducing the new format, so I don't feel too bad.
Yeah. No, this is good. All right, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one next week. Hopefully you'll be listening to it on a Wednesday.